This is a certified hood classic.
Hey, Sakafet, Sakafet. What's up? What's up to all my beautiful people from all corners of the world? It's been a while. I hope everyone is doing well. So, first of all, I'd like to just lay it out here. I intend to change my schedule to a weekly format, but look, life gets in the way. We know how that works. But I've had time to improve my layout. As anybody who's joined from the very beginning, you've seen that I've got like some new transitions going on, working on the actual presentation of the podcast. And, I got a few more ideas for shows down on paper. So I've been doing like a lot of behind the scenes work. So out of excitement, out of the excitement and everything from getting the new software up and getting the scripts down, I've got like 3 episodes coming out this week. I've got 2 episodes for deep reflection, this being one of them. The next one will be Sunday. Then I've also got on Saturday here on Culture Invasion live an interview with none other than the Bronze Bird. That's right, the Bronze Bird, the the powwow king, the the gentleman who's got the bird's eye view of the YouTube streets, representing New York, Bronze Bird. That's right, you heard it. So he and I are gonna be chopping it up on Saturday. I'm gonna be throwing him all fast pitches. I'm coming out the gate punching. So it's gonna be a nice informational interview. So my content is growing. It's growing slowly. But the quality of what I put out there into the universe continues to evolve for you guys. That's always been my goal. If podcasting or streaming takes off for me, is to bring my people quality culture, knowledge, and entertainment. Okay, no matter the scope of it, no matter the level of controversy, this is an adult podcast, and it's a show where I want to share, and I hope that as I share, that someone out there in the ether picks up on my message and latches onto it, and I help somebody one day, or I help entertain somebody, or I help provide somebody with something that they didn't know before. All right, so for tonight, for this evening, we got a little bit to share. I've got a video for you guys that I think is going to provide a little bit of inspiration. And of course, while I'm sharing, I'm going to waffle a little bit. But tonight is all about inspiration and overcoming those challenges in life. How our minds betray us and cause us to fall down into deep mental thought that can disrupt us or destroy the vibe that we are trying to achieve, or the goal that we are trying to achieve, and we are being defeated by ourselves. I want to share a way of getting out of that and bringing yourself up out of that. I've always, we'll get into it. We'll get into it here with the content that I'm going to share this evening. But to start off with, and staying on topic, right? Let's just get this out there. Let's stay on topic. Let's not waffle too much. So for tonight, I want to talk about the human journey and where we find inspiration to overcome extreme moments of anguish or pain. Okay, as we venture through this plane of existence, how do we overcome those moments? The moments when we are emotionally drained, where we've given everything, or we're sideswiped by an unforeseen issue, an unforeseen occurrence, and it completely disrupts where we are in life. For me, I've been on a major health journey over the past 5 years. We're talking holistic, top to bottom overhaul. I've gradually increased my workout schedule to be more consistent over the past 5 years. I've taken time to plan better meals for myself, shop healthier, eat healthier. And I've seen an absolute net positive from it. There's been a change in my health. I've lost weight, shed a few pounds that I started getting that dad bod's creeping in. The dad bod's creeping in pretty bad. It's all genetics plus lifestyle. I can choose to live a life where I just accept, the shape that my body gains, or I can choose the lifestyle to change that. But in all seriousness, it also has to do with mental health and fighting demons and dealing with those kind of challenges as well. So to my audience and to the folks that are out there who may be picking this up on a replay, I ask you, what or who or how do you handle moments of extreme challenge? Who do you rely on? What do you lean on? Or how do you go about overcoming that pain, right? So I know realistically, some humans immediately come to grips with it. They hit it head on. Whatever the strain is, whatever the struggle is, they battle through it. Some people work through it, but take longer to actually cope with the implications. Some people ignore the moments of pain, push through it, and keep on bearing the pain. Some of us require help, right? Be that licensed therapy, be that an ear of a close friend or another, be that an uplifting spiritual commune with our prophet or God of choice. But the fact remains that many of us are ill-equipped to deal with painful moments alone, to not have someone else to lean on. The unexpected flood of emotions can be crippling to people, to some. And depending on the impact to our frame of mind at that point in time, it can be devastating for someone. So to share, recently for me, my pain was grief. Grief for a fallen friend. And then right behind it, grief for a distant relative. And see, the collective memories opened a scab because we are not solitary creatures. We have communities and we have neighborhoods and groups that we belong to, churches, organizations, fraternities. So this collective perpetual motion machine of individuals sharing memories, it opened a seeping wound and the pain of being alive. The very pain of grief mixed with deep regret. I was held captive by a moment in time to face a box of demons that I had put away for another day. And those demons came back. And let me tell you, only the most soulful whiskey blues and a nice bourbon could soothe something like I was going through at the time. And I'd like to think, like, in my 47 years here on earth, that I've gained a rather well-rounded level of copium when it comes to lemons life tosses my way. I'm no chump when it comes to challenges. When I'm in need of support, I seek wise counsel, or clinically wise counsel, and maybe a combination of everything that I previously spoken on, right? I push through some things. I bend the ear of a close friend or many close friends and then many more close friends. But this was a new set of feelings I encountered. This grief mixed with this regret, like it stopped me dead in my tracks. It hit me with a level of tunnel vision. I know like others of us out there have had that, where you can see nothing else around you but the emotional whirlwind that you're swept up in, being peppered by the sting of your past. So ultimately, the darkness I stumbled upon showed me something in myself. Again, I'm learning about myself. I'm 47 here. Again, more lessons. Out of anguish came recovery and a realization that the failures, the regret, my shortcomings, my grief were all stepping stones for even more greatness. That takes a lot within yourself to step outside of yourself, to take a moment to breathe and to realize that my experiences, the time that I spent in my life learning, my so-called pain had been brought into perspective and compared to the pain other men encounter, compared to the pain other people have encountered. I've gotten a net value out of it. Others haven't even gotten there yet. I've hit the realization phase. I recovered from that. You feel me now? I felt myself come out of it. But the others and other people who have ongoing pain, ongoing struggle, put perspective on my life. So I'm not here to flood you with an overwhelming amount of spiritual guidance or anything preachy, right? We're not going to do all that. We all have our own survival and coping techniques that we've applied to our lives. But I am going to share a video with you. It's by a motivational speaker named Tom Bilyeu. And again, I've been on a great self-improvement journey, and we all pull from resources across the internet from time to time. Reflecting on this video over and over again has kind of helped me a little bit. So I'm sharing a little bit with you guys here tonight. And let's be real, truth be told. All right, I'm getting it out here now. There was a time in my life where I found these kinds of videos absolutely, and the speakers, these weird energetic types, absolutely pedantic and corny as corny. Extremely corny. Those motivational guys that are like, yeah, get out there, CrossFit, yeah. So even even the varying levels of motivational speakers out there, I've not been in. For years, I was not in the frame of mind at all. You feeling me on this? I was not in the frame of mind at all to be entertained. I was discounting every message I ever heard from these hyper weirdos out of spite half the time, because I didn't like the way that the presentation was resonating. It was just absurd to me. Absolutely absurd. So I wasn't ready, is what I've learned, right? When you're not ready to hear a message, no matter the delivery, but when you're just not ready to hear the message, when you're not ready to do the hard work, when you're listening to a message that is going to bring you a net value to your life, you don't realize that you can make those changes happen. For me, positive vibes were not vibing. I did not want to hear this overly positive, weirdo, hyper jock, Chad type guy attempt to inspire anything I had going on in my life. At the time, I was drowning in my own misery, that proverbial circling the mosquito infested waters of life, just existing. So I'm going to share this real quick and then we'll get to the video. I made a plan for personal success a few years back, and out of that plan, I've experienced one of the single greatest moments of personal change. A few years back, again, I landed my first mid-level corporate job, and I was able to tangibly feel and see the fruit of my efforts over the past 12 years of effort. That moment brought me a realization of the image of who I knew I was, that I was a man capable of great strides and success. It was all finally validated. My plan, something that I planned out and executed, set goal for myself to improve my knowledge, to work on my career path. Everything had come to fruition and was continuing to evolve. My hard work had paid off. So I'm here to tell you, don't stop succeeding, because we all get to that point where we become stagnant in certain ways. Push yourself further and never stop being grateful for what you have. Living in this country, existing in the world at this time in history, all of the resources that we have to keep in perspective. And we have to be mindful of the challenges we face versus the reality of the challenges others face. And always remember that for each one of us, our own greatness awaits. All right? That's my speech for the evening. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and get started here. Fair warning, this guy, he's really loud. So I'm going to try to make sure that everything's balanced out. If anybody's out there in YouTube land in the chat, hit 1. Let me know that you can hear this when I start playing it. And just give me some feedback if you think it's too loud. All right, we're going to start this off. Fair use, fair use.
As Henry David Thoreau said, never look back unless you're planning to go that way. And that's how people get trapped. There's something inevitable about the way that the human mind works. It's going to try to draw you backwards. It's going to try to get you to focus on the bad things that have happened. It wants you to see your mistakes. It wants you to wallow in your mistakes. And I'll give it that maybe it has the best of intentions. Maybe its hope is that I don't repeat those mistakes. Maybe what it wants to ensure is that I do better in the future, but the problem is your energy goes where your attention is. And if your attention is the past, that's where you're going to live. That's where you're going to spend your time, and you're never going to be able to plan for the future. The future doesn't happen. The future has to be built. It has to be created. And if you're not taking the time to map out that creation, then it's going to happen by accident, and you're never going to get the things that you want. You're never going to become the person that you're capable of becoming. But to become that push, then you have to push yourself. You've got to make huge demands of yourself. And to do that, to have the energy to see that through, you've got to know what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And as William Faulkner said, don't bother just to be better than your contemporaries or your predecessors. Try to be better than yourself. But how can you do that if all you're doing is looking in the past? You've got to have an eye to the future. You've got to know who you are today. You've got to have the self-awareness, the presence, to look at yourself honestly, to accept what it is about yourself that is weak, that is inadequate, but without punishing yourself, without spending that time beating yourself up in the past, living there in the pain of what you got wrong, living there in the pain of all the things that have happened to you that were outside of your control that you didn't want. If you want to build something new, don't spend any of your energy trying to tear down the old. Instead, spend all of your time trying to build the new.
And that's message right there. Don't spend time on that old stuff. Don't spend time on the past and the things that tore you down. It's all about moving forward. It's all about the future. And that was part of the regret that was straddling my shoulders when I was going through the grief period. I mean, it was all right there in my peripheral. I had all the answers, and I knew better than to fall to my past. I knew better than to fall to grief or fall to regret and combining that and wrapping that up in the grief. None of that needed to happen. But again, the mind is a funny thing, how it plays games with us. And that's why I played this video for myself a few weeks back, because I had to think about, all right, let me put this back in perspective. So, hey, Mona D. Glad you stopped by.
Becomes the thing. It becomes the race against yourself. It becomes the race to see if you can make yourself better. You have a vision of who you can become, and you're constantly racing against that person. You're trying to become better than that person. You're trying to outperform your own expectations. And when you can do that, when you can set a bar that is ridiculously high and then become somebody capable of surpassing that, then, and only then, will you become the person you are meant to be. So put all of your time and energy into building you. As Epictetus said, he is a wise man who does not grieve for things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. And that's gratitude, isn't it? It's the very base decision that we all have to make. Are you grateful?
Now here comes some deep facts. And I think it's good to break this down a little bit, because he does hit you with a lot in this 7 minutes. But this is the baseline right here. Gratitude. Right? And I hit on that a little bit earlier. But without being grateful for your existence and the things around you, life becomes a blur very quickly. Very quickly. And it becomes very easy to lose that perspective and get absorbed in your own mind and absorbed in your own difficulties that you're having. Instead of looking beyond it, instead of stop looking at the past and start looking toward the future.
Grateful for the things that you have in your life, or are you always wanting more? And trust me, I get it. I understand people that strive for more. I understand people that want something bigger and better. But at the same time, if you allow yourself to only think about what you don't have, to only be striving for something more, that obsession will begin to overtake you. It will begin to corrode you. But ultimately, it's a choice. Ultimately, at any time, right now, in this moment, you can stop and think about what you have. You can put your attention on the things that you're grateful for and watch what it does. Watch what it does in that instance, the way that it changes you, the way that it changes your chemistry, your feelings in a moment can shift from negative and dark to beautiful, with nothing else changing around you, nothing but you deciding that you're going to focus on the things you're grateful for. Nothing but deciding that there are things in your life to be grateful for. And that is a decision. No matter what is happening in your life at any moment, right now, in the depths of a depression, in something going on terribly in your life, you could choose right now to think about the things you're grateful for. The breeze, a smile from somebody kind, a stranger who holds open a door for you,
Absolutely.
anything.
Absolutely.
But it's a choice. And as Einstein said, there are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. And what choice are you making? What are you choosing to focus on right now?
It's all about the balance.
Do you let gratitude fill you up or not? And here's the critical part, and I want you to listen to this really well. Whatever you decide, whether you decide we live in a world of miracles or whether you decide we live in a world devoid of miracles, you are choosing one thing to the exclusion of the other. And when you focus on something that you're grateful for, when you look at those little moments in your life and choose to see them as grand miracles, even when it is only a gentle hand on your shoulder, even when it's only a kiss from somebody who you've kissed 1,000 times before, even when it is only holding the hand of somebody who needed their hand held, even when it's something that simple, it really is a miracle, that it really is something that can fill you. It really is something that will change your chemistry, bring a connection between two people, allow you to see a grander vista, or even just open a window and look out at the world and realize that you're alive, that this is all a miracle, that none of this is guaranteed, that every breath you take could be your last.
Absolutely.
And in
Absolutely.
that, you can choose to cherish what you have. In that,
Hey, Josh.
you can decide to focus on that you have a breath to take. And even when it's something that simple, when you train your mind to do that, when you train yourself to decide to see the beauty in that, then nobody can ever take it away from you. And no matter where you are, no matter what's going on in your life, you'll be able to rise up and feel the beauty that is being alive. So take a minute at the worst times in your life and focus on the things that you're grateful for.
Absolutely. All right. You guys are welcome. I have shared that with you. They requested I do it, and I did it. But in all reality, excuse me, in all reality, like I said before, in my past, I had always found that these types of videos were low-key cheesy, and I never, like, show me that video 20 years ago, I'd laugh at you. 5 years ago, that was uplifting. 5 years ago, a little bit uplifting, okay? Let's be real. A little bit uplifting, and then a whole lot inspiring. And I think for me, the other key piece, the one thing in my misanthropic era that I'm going through here, the one thing that I've never lost sight of is capturing the beauty of humanity on film. I've never lost sight of that. And capturing our history and capturing our art and being able to go back and look at a picture that I had taken through my eyes, using the camera to paint that vision that I see of humanity. That's something that this also kind of inspires in me. It reminds me of my hobbies. It reminds me of, you know, putting on paper or putting on digital, you know, in digital form, an extension of myself and my art. So they are cheesy, but you're cheesy, so it's good. I appreciate that. I represent that. That's a good one. I love it. I love it. But yeah, that's really it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to flood you guys with a bunch of spiritual guidance or preachy rhetoric or anything. Go back and catch the replay so you can catch the first half of you know, my explanation for putting this out here and pulling some inspiration into my life and sharing it with y'all. Otherwise, I appreciate everybody who stopped out. We got Mona D, we got Josh, we got Sunkissed, we got Miss Queen. Oh yeah, Bronze Flat. And then let's see, who else? I believe I got everybody. I got everybody taken care of out there. Josh, I just sent you a present. You got your wrench, and that's all I got. All my work is done. My work here is done. I shared a little bit of inspiration with you guys. Everyone, like the stream, please. Leave a comment. Share something that is uplifting or inspiring to you in the comments. Let me know what keeps you going and keeps you motivated to push on through the pain of being here on Earth. All right, you guys. Everyone, big up yourselves. I've got a little bit of outro music. The first track is a local artist, Big Homie and Crazy K. You need to check her out. She's the second verse. She lights it up on this first track. Other than that, I've just got my little instrumentals following it. You got 14 minutes of nice music going out. Get your dancing shoes on. Get ready to bop. All right, y'all. Everyone have a good evening. One love. And big up yourselves.
Talking about flipping birds, but don't know how many grams in it. You a shooter, but you never ever kill nothing. These silly motherfuckers always gotta stay frontin'. If I get it, then I talk it and I live it. And jealous rappers always acting like women. Never worried about a hater, man. I love you niggas. I ain't beefing with nobody, rather come up with you. I'm the gas in the middle of the switches. On your ass for that cash, I'ma get you. Been blessed, no stress, man. I'm good, nigga. Don't test, I'm a mess. I really pull triggers, but only if I have to. I don't wanna be the bad dude. Why you steady acting like you really gangsta? Bosses making moves, just learn the game, bruh. Everybody gangsta nowadays. Just wanna be the bad guy. Wanna be the bad guy. The real goons come your way. So they come your way. Wanna be the good guy. Wanna be the good guy. Everybody gangsta nowadays. Just wanna be the bad guy. Wanna be the bad guy. The real goons come your way. So they come your way. Wanna be the good guy. Wanna be the good guy.
I ain't lucky, real shit don't interrupt me. These niggas ain't shooters, they feel safe for playing rugby. But that ain't the point, this one calls for a joint. This life is a gamble, two-sided, good or bad, flip the coin. Ain't you glad that the odds on your side? Don't be mad, that negative shit whack, let me bring it back. That negative shit whack, hit them hard like crack. If crazy, take a vacate, just know I'm coming back. Sharper than attack, what you think of that? Check a GMB set, we all want the cheese, but ain't none of us a rat. Would you believe me if I told you I'm a crack baby? That shit happen every day, not just back in the 80s. Thinking about sunny days that done turn shady. God been looking out, cause to this day I got no babies. And probably never will, cause nowadays they don't want ladies. No competition, I'm biting down like I got rabies. No, I'm a savage, licensed burdens to carry, now try to make me think you can test me, don't try to rush me, I get the bussin'. You watch my back, I watch yours, that's who I got my trust in. And if somebody do dirt, they crib, we bout to bust in.
Everybody gangsta nowadays. Just wanna be the bad guy. Wanna be the bad guy. Till the real goons come your way. Till they come your way. You wanna be the good guy. Wanna be the good guy. Everybody gangsta nowadays. Just wanna be the bad guy. Wanna be the bad guy. Till the real goons come your way. Till they come your way. You wanna be the good guy. Wanna be the good guy.
Botanga,